everybody, to another König's Cast, the 5th one, and actually the second one I'm going to be doing today, after last cast's very interesting time, if that made any sense. To rephrase, last cast is quite the interesting one. I don't think I've ever had one that's that odd. But today's matchup is actually going to be one that's quite high level. SSth DemolitionJeep versus SSth, or EliteJager, we'll call him, as I do believe it's just SSth Jaeger, EliteJager, whatever. Playing as the Panzer Elite in the north on Angoville. Yes, indeed, Angoville, the very interesting map where 1 victory point's on the left side and 2 of them are on the right side. It does make for some interesting play in the southern bit, because you either have to overextend your lines and try to take the one that's way up here, or you have to overextend your lines from left to right. And actually, same for the northern one. You have to really overextend your lines to get the victory point way down there, and also maintain this victory point up there, or to get both of the victory points on the right side. Intersecting roads, as we see in so many maps. A dirt country road leading in from the right side, and a more main country road leading in north-south, weaving through bocage, creating some really nice mine placement areas, especially this intersection and the crossroads right there. This spot right there next to the house, right there next to the house. You know, you got a lot of these points that can be mined, making this map one of my favorites. Let's get the show on the road. We're seeing a triple engineer start from DemolitionJeep. EliteJager is apparently quite the nice man. Good luck, have fun. Something that not most people do nowadays, or even know what it means. They're like, what? Good luck, have fun. Or, what's GLHF? I'm really liking the placement of the barracks. Well, it would have been nicer if it was a little bit farther over, so that it would basically force any guys that try slipping through here to go into the range of the machine guns. Although it's actually not so much of a problem playing as the Americans, as you can notice. The firing arcs kind of interlap right there, but for the bunkers, for the Wehrmacht, which have a much shorter and smaller firing cone, it can actually be quite the issue. Panzer Grenadiers capping this strategic point, connecting the more important high fuel points and high munition points, letting the Kettenkrad cap the more meaningful points, is what I'm trying to say. Always a good idea. Engineers flanking around to the right side, perhaps going in to cap this strategic point, cutting them off from the right side, or perhaps even coming in to flank around the back side. And as you see, Panzer Grenadiers spot this, although it looks like, oh no, but he is continuing his flank. Panzer Grenadiers falling back to the shrubbery over there. Kettenkrad getting, well, engineers being a nuisance to the Kettenkrad. And Panzer Grenadiers with their G43 is actually moving in to deal with this threat more than actually deal with this one on the right side. More Panzer Grenadiers moving in, already building a Kampfgruppe Kompanie. Bit too much of a roll of the tongue there, but anyway, riflemen also coming in to help out with the situation. 1 Panzer Grenadier down to the engineers. Nice job there. Panzer Grenadiers actually holding off these guys as well. Or actually, no, they're not. Getting owned. You might want to retreat. Nice job. Getting into green cover. The riflemen already outgunning the Panzer Grenadiers, forcing them to, well, not move in as much as they'd like to. Panzer Grenadiers with G43 upgrades moving in. Probably going to take up positions along the fence line, or maybe even push in farther than that. Kettenkrad moving up here to cap the field point up there next to his base. Nice job with that. Multitasking, multitasking, multitasking. Over here, capping the high fuel point engineers. Nice job. Might be seeing some sort of quick MH, perhaps. Quick motor pool, something like that. Or maybe even quick bars. Engineers being reinforced at the barracks. That's why you want to build it at the edge of your base, so you can reinforce there and save a lot of time. Riflemen still holding out quite well here, highly damaging both squads, or well, more or less this squad. In fact, killing one of the Panzer Grenadiers. We have 3 riflemen holding out, well, seemingly, but they do indeed end up retreating. More riflemen and engineers moving into the fields to actually further halt the Panzer Grenadier advance. Half-track doing its job, helping the Panzer Grenadiers to reinforce on the field, as well as suppressing the riflemen with their MG. Although it does take a bit of time. And it will indeed happen eventually, as they're not all in green cover. It's just going to take a little bit longer for it to happen. 1 rifleman already cut down, 2 riflemen cut down. Down to half health, 3 riflemen cut down. Need to retreat. There we go. The German firepower is a bit too much, crashing through the fence nonchalantly. 1 engineer immediately cut down, and half-track actually pursuing, like out of some sort of horror movie. But then doing quite the turn there. Turns on a dime, going away to the right side of the map, where it's probably going to be dealing with these engineers that are consistently capping their points. And it appears we're seeing some riflemen getting into this building right here. 2 infantry half-tracks out for EliteJager. We might be seeing a very half-track heavy start here. Or strategy. And the combat has died down a little bit, although Kettenkrad is very heavily damaged, being harassed by the engineers yet again as he tries to cap that plus 10 fuel. Or plus 16, actually, my apologies. One thing that's always good about starting as the Panzer Elite in the south is that you can actually cap this strategic point from behind the wall because of how huge the capping range is. And you can actually capture this fuel point from behind the hedgerow. That's one thing that I've always loved about this map. Playing as the Panzer Elite anyway in the south. Engineers pulling away from the Panzer Grenadiers, but then they decide otherwise, moving back in as 2 riflemen also advance upon their position along the tree line. But the riflemen then switch priorities to the half-tracks and the Panzer Grenadiers that are stationed inside them, taking heavy damage, actually, from their Garands. And look at that, already got flamers out, so he is concentrating heavily on the munitions, it seems. Whoops. My apologies for the misclick. These riflemen need to get into green cover or retreat. Actually, yes, they need to retreat, being suppressed out in the open. I don't think he notices it. Engineers almost down as well. Riflemen do manage to survive the engagement, although probably not for much longer. There we go, they do retreat. Nice job. We need to get these guys back into green cover. They're actually not in it right now. They're actually in front of it, mostly. Taking a lot of heavy machine gun fire from the MG42, MG42. Half-tracks moving along the road on the left side, flanking, but probably decide otherwise, as they are quite heavily damaged. They do need to do some healing, some repairing, I mean. And note that guys in half-tracks really vulnerable to flames, and grenades, actually. Seeing some sort of messaging, I don't know, probably from a clanmate.
I've seen enough killing to last me 10 lifetimes.
At least I assume so. And these engineers are running away, doing a bit of a slow retreat there, instead of completely retreating, just running out of the engagement. Riflemen and engineers very highly damaged, do need a triage center, as well as riflemen not even completely reinforced, probably maybe not enough manpower at the time or something, I don't know. Could use some sticky bombs, as the half-tracks are being pretty bold, pretty ballsy, getting right up close to them. Just a few more steps, probably would have been able to throw a sticky bomb onto that thing, get it at least disabled, allowing them to finish it off effectively. Kettenkrad capping under the protective fire of the half-track, which is being repaired by the Panzer Grenadiers, which are also highly damaged, could probably use some repairs themselves, more like healing. Riflemen on the right side doing some harassment, probably going to be cutting them off from the entire right side. They could also capture this point right here, effectively, completely cutting them off from the right side. Because one thing to note is that even if you don't have this point right here, you can always connect it via this point. And then, furthermore, connect these points. Of course, this is the more unlikely of things to happen. Half-tracks pretty much fully repaired. Moving in to deal with our harassing riflemen. Already need to take a drink. Quite an intense game already. Chasing down the riflemen to the best of their ability.
We're losing a munitions point.
I love those cinematic views. Pulling into the house, or at least a new rifleman squad is pulling into the house anyway. Fending off the infantry half-track, one of which pulls out probably to cap this point, or maybe to do some repairs. Yes, they are indeed repairing. Nice job pulling the repair Panzer Grenadiers back behind the half-track. Using the half-track as cover, using the half-track to distract. And damaged engine, nice. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about the map. Mine placement right there. Deadly, and tends to happen quite a lot. Panzer Grenadier stuck out on the road. One man already cut down because of it in negative cover. Some more half-tracks, light AT half-tracks actually, covering the left-hand side. Perhaps covering this flank, making sure no one can flank through there and get in behind the half-track, which needs some repairing. Riflemen pulling out of the building, unsure of probably what to do. And they're probably going to end up getting either hopping back into it or just retreating. Yes, they do indeed hop back into it. And as I was saying, a quick M8, but it's actually going to be a quick Staghound. T-17. Riflemen being reinforced there. Again, really need a triage center. And actually, I think they crashed through the building. The half-tracks did. And floating freaking ladders. T-17, no match for the light AT half-track. Might want to watch out. Fortunately, the light AT half-track doesn't shoot right through there. Instead, has to move around to try and get another angle. Focus firing. Oh, focus fire. Nice job. The focus fire is insane on mortar half-tracks. It's like a quick shooting sniper on treads, except you just have to make sure you pull it back to base every now and then to if you have defensive operations, so that the ability recharges and everything, or get a munitions half-track, of course, so we can do it in the field. Would be a better option, but of course a bit more expensive. Yet less time consuming.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
Engineers moving in on the left side might want to be careful. They could pop it again, or at least one of them could. And even if they don't pop it, they're fairly accurate. Every several shots eventually connecting. Or maybe not. These guys actually end up having to completely retreat, unable to stay on the field for much longer. One man down. Another man down. He might have popped it. He might have popped the ability. Woohoo! He's actually down to like 0 health. Almost. Just maybe 1 or 2 health. That is pretty lucky right there. The gaping hole still remains in the building right there. Half-tracks roaming the fields on the right side. Quite the mobile force, I must say. Get some Panzer Shreks on those, and you can just waltz into their base, no worries. In fact, that's one thing that bothers me about the American base, is that, or the southern base, is that even with the huge firing cone of the American MG emplacement, you can just go right through the right side right there. Crash through the fence, get into the base with some Panzer Shreks, and, well, it's not going to be a very happy day, now is it? Riflemen lining up in the shrubbery and the fences. AT half-track can't get a clear shot, can't get a clear visual, pulls out. Riflemen, after fending those guys off, go up to cap the strategic point. T-17 is not having too much luck. The light AT half-track being more than enough to keep it from moving in. All it has to do is pop Treadbreaker, and that thing is screwed. And this light AT half-track, though, is screwed, maybe, unless it pulls out, or it gets saved by a light infantry half-track. I mean, not light infantry half-track. And mortar half-track, the common combined arms And I really love how EliteJager is playing right now. He's got a lot of half tracks. I just love that play. I mean, it just really seems to fit the Panzer Elite and their style of play, or what they not really stood for, but how they operated, I should say. Immobilized, though, that's what I'm talking about. Shredbreaker, really dangerous to be working with, and that's the combination I was talking about, where you get the light AT half track and mortar half track combining. So basically, you can barrage the area and take out any sort of defenses, you know, repairing engineers and stuff of that sort. But they do have to pull out, I mean, because of the riflemen. That's a nice flank, actually, by Demolition. I missed that. Really flanking right through there and making them pull back into their base. And actually surrounding these guys. Leaving these guys behind to die. Oh, no! And he's gonna lose the Panzer Grenadier squad because of that. Or maybe he won't. Oh, he does. They do cut him down. I thought that mortar was gonna save him.
They're taking one of our
T-17 has been repaired after the Shredbreaker. An infantry half track does go down. I don't know from what, but it does go down. And FallschirmJäger.
We have territory cut off from supply.
Capping around down here, fending off some engineer flamers, forcing them to get into the building. Panzer Grenadiers, meanwhile, capping this. And Kettenkrad capping the +16 munitions point. Half tracks roaming the field from side to side. Really good at doing that. I like how I keep calling PanzerJäger. EliteJager is using his half tracks to switch from side to side, which is really the best way to counteract the Americans who like to do that. They like to harass everywhere, and that's really what they're designed at, or designed towards. Panzer Elite, despite the severe losses up here in the north at the edge of their base, do manage to replace their losses without significant issues, and they do manage to start re-securing the left side. But riflemen and engineers, coupled with a T-17 armored car, are now regaining the right side. Tricky cloaking, so we are seeing Luftwaffe, which is what we commonly see nowadays with the Panzer Elite. You tend to only see Luftwaffe. Occasionally you'll see Tank Hunter Doctrine. You never really see Scorched Earth except for in 2v2s, as they're really good at locking down the victory points. And FallschirmJäger with their FG-42s taking a position in the green cover there, although under some T-17 fire. Although not doing much other than just clear out the cover that they're hiding behind. They do pull back to more cover, and they might want to watch out for. Oh, like AT after does again use the ability, but enemy unit down. I think it's a Kettenkrad. I don't know where that was, but okay. Panzer Grenadiers helping out as well. Veteran C1, no upgrades though. Might want to get some Panzer Shreks on them to help take out, well, the armor that the Americans are now using, which is now half tracks with the quad mount, which can be quite deadly, even especially to the lightly armored vehicles of the Panzer Elite. Panzer Elite forces are generally concentrated on the left side. Pause the game. This is actually going to be apparently only a 30-minute game, so not too long. But how has the game been progressing so far? Well, my voice tells me a lot of action. a lot of action. You're seeing, I really like the half-track strategy that's being used. He's also, of course, getting some more buildings, so we might be seeing some trying to go for a Panther battle group. The American player, of course, though, is playing quite well. Finally, or not, I shouldn't say finally, but indeed getting a triage center after he realized he needed one. He does have plenty of infantry on the field. I believe he has 3 rifle squads, which is acceptable. 4 rifle squads, actually. That's very acceptable. 3 infantry, engineer squads. Which he's been doing a great job with, laying down plenty of mines in case, you know, a half-track wants to flank through there and try to go up the road that way. He's laid down a mine there. Or one thing to note, again, this base is very interesting. One thing to note is that they can flank troops in right through there. This like little opening in the bushes right there, which is actually beyond the range of the MGs. So they'll try to flank this area by doing that. And actually, me doing that just revealed more mines. So lots and lots of mines. I love it. I love the play that the Americans are using right now, which is really a good counter to the tons of half tracks. Because once one of them hits those mines, you know, if you've got men in good position and they're not prepared for it, you can really put the hurting on it. Probably take out a half track or two, if you're lucky. So, well, not if you're lucky, but probably take out a half track, maybe two. So, still though, great job harassing, great job from the Panzer Elite reacting to the harassment, as well as doing some harassment with his own, with the Kettenkrad, which I believe did die. I just don't know where. And one thing I have never noticed on this map is this over here. I've never noticed this little opening in the map over here on the right side. I just noticed that a few days ago. Got some nice view of the surrounding farmland, although exactly that doesn't really look very real. But then again, they don't really expect anybody to be looking out there very much.
What?
Alright, back to the game. T-17 changing his mind from going over there. And actually, they did lose an AT gun, which is almost blown up. Probably mortar barraging it as we speak. I didn't even notice he got a, got that. And there we go, just as I was talking about it. We have a infantry half track hitting that mine. Defensive Vet 1. T-17 moves in, starts putting the hurting on it. Although the Vet 1 is saving it quite a bit. And actually, oh my god, that is going to be so frustrating. Missing one of the shots. Another shot, penetrating, but not doing too much damage. SSth popping out. And he might even try to be getting the ability on it.
Enemy unit down.
And I guess not. I guess he can't. He must have missed it, or perhaps he doesn't want to get, you know, caught behind enemy lines. And as I was saying, this freaking half track is just tearing through that armor, and there we go. T-17, which has Vet 1 now, knocks out that half track. Although taking a ton of fire from those combined light AT half tracks, which is actually also a good counter to this half track. Immobilized though, might want to watch out. Might even go down if he's not careful. There we go. Vet 1 T-17 Staghound down. M3 half track, huge range on that thing, firing away at the light vehicles over on the left side, which is their new position in the field, counting on the Americans to cross this negative cover, and so that they can try to reach this tree line, some grass, tall grass, where they could get a better position. But first, they have to cross this open ground, so nice positioning there. Vet 1 Rifleman. Vet 1 Rifleman again. Lots and lots of veterancy for the Americans, as well as the Panzer Elite. So both players doing a great job. Although, look at the map! The map is all blue now! Oh, that's gotta hurt right now. He doesn't even have the resources on the left because they're cut off. He's gonna have to try to regain that. WittmannProductions being called in to do such a job. Light AT half track pulled back though. Mortar half track pulled up though to barrage the very tightly combined. Oh, Riflemen, which almost go down. Need to retreat. Ooh, retreat. Alright, there we go. Just retreat. Mortar half track down, actually. And I believe this is where the... I do believe this is where the German players fall apart. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the American players get to fall apart. Maybe the Germans win. I'm not sure, but I'm really got my bets on the Germans right now. M3 half track. Wait, did he reman? Oh, he did reman the AT gun. That's what was killing those half tracks. I bet he didn't even see that.
We hold the initiative.
Panzer Grenadiers with offensive veterancy 1 stuck behind enemy lines, fending off some engineers on their own, but they're gonna need to retreat before they get completely cut off. Have to run through the gauntlet. There we go. They do retreat left of the gauntlet, although still under fire from a lot of stuff. Almost losing 2 men, or actually almost losing a guy. Ooh, almost spoke too soon. Martyrs being brought to the field. more heavy anti-tank than the light AT half-tracks, although already heavily damaged as well. No. Oh, but nice long-range shot on that half-track, crashing into the heavy farm tractor. The French really knew how to make their tractors, I guess, because they can apparently withstand a flying half-track. M1918 Browning automatic rifles have been upgraded, or more commonly known as BAR, or BAR. 60 fuel. It's quite a lot. I just realized I haven't looked at the Panzer Elite at all so far. Panzer Elite is in quite a bit of trouble. Hardly any resources right now. Really needs to start capping. Might want to start concentrating on the right side, which would, in the long run, still be a far better choice because they have 2 victory points on the right side. Fallschirmjäger in a bit of trouble. Double flame engineers proving to be quite the problem, and running into the thick hedges of the French countryside. These guys run in the gauntlet between 2 BAR riflemen, going to get completely slaughtered, right? But he was firing on the move, so he might not get him. He was firing on the move. And I think the defensive operation saves him there, as when he retreats into the base, he starts getting healed. Nice job there. Riflemen both have to retreat from all that fire. Flat Veerlings, Gewehr 43s, Martyrs shooting away the cover, light AT half-tracks picking them off. That is a lot of firepower right there. Panzer Grenadiers getting picked off as well, though, from the T-17 armored car, which is covering the retreat of the anti-tank gun. Riflemen on the right side moving over to the left side to also cover the retreat of the anti-tank gun, as well as perhaps put up a bit of a screen, and also ensure they can't recap this point. As you see, they immediately start running in as they start trying to recap it, and he has to retreat as well. This is proving to be a huge problem. Not enough infantry, and any armor support is quickly sorted out by the anti-tank gun, which is being very nicely handled. Sticky bomb on the offensive vet light AT half-track, almost knocking it out, but not actually knocking out the engine. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that he threw it from the back. I think that might be how it works. That would be pretty neat if it does. We'll just say that's how it works. Let's just pretend. Fallschirmjäger, the elite of the elite, EliteJager, as his name commends, moving in and organizing here, going along the brocage on the right side would be a great flanking maneuver right there, getting off of Panzerfauster too. But instead they do stick to the fields, moving into cap. All the Fallschirmjäger covering them. Nice job. Martyr covering them from the very far back. These guys repairing the Martyr. Light AT half-tracks also covering the flanks of the Martyr as well, preventing any T-17s from getting close. Double vet rifleman, though, a real terror, being sorted out quickly by everything, although light AT half-track does go spiraling out of control into thick shrubbery. Anti-tank gun now left undefended, though. The T-17 a bit too far away, and Martyr can indeed move up now, as the anti-tank gun's being sorted out. Another anti-tank gun to cover that one, though. Will it be enough? Probably not. Tons of riflemen coming out of nowhere. Double sticky would be a huge... Oh, double sticky! Oh, no! Immobilized! So lucky. Tons of riflemen just got cut down there. Another one cut down on retreat. Panzer Grenadiers pulling out. Fallschirmjäger pulling up. And double offensive vet for that light AT half-track with 17 kills. 17 times 27. Somebody do the math. I don't know what that is, but it's going to be a lot. A lot. Although with the supply yard upgrades, I think it's like 25. A little bit less than that. Something like that. So... It does cut down a little bit, although I don't know if it's actually noticeable. Veteran C1 for those flame engineers. I love Veteran C for the engineers. Fallschirmjägers trying to do their best to capture the fuel on the left side. They are starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but not enough to actually make a difference. Verbal winds getting hit by the anti-tank gun. And they have managed to recap the 16 munitions. Why he doesn't get a Kent Crad to start capping the points on the right side, I don't know. At least would force him to spread out his forces a little bit. Better than none. Or why he just doesn't start concentrating on the right-hand side of the map, I don't know either. Because then he would have the advantage, because they wouldn't be expecting that. So he could actually set up a decent defense on the right side, allowing him to start capping away over here, and I believe that's what he's actually doing right now. Good job sitting on the Panzer Grenadiers over here to the right side to cap that. Armor's still holding out over here, though, taking heavy fire from the anti-tank guns, though. Oh! Ooh. Lucky. FallschirmJäger moving up to form a screen in front of the armor. And that's just going to feed the sniper, which is now out for DemolitionJeep. Things just keep getting worse and worse and worse for the Panzer Grenadiers, or Panzer Elite rather. Engineers in tow of the riflemen, moving in on the Panzer Grenadiers, which are just forced to run as fast as possible to home. Double offensive veterancy for those guys. They do again recap the strategic point. And Warbowman called in right there!
Americans are seizing territory from us.
Just slaughtering those riflemen. Whoa! Warbowans, my friend, are very good. It's like a flak veering on treads. They are insane, especially when you have two of them concentrating on the same squad. Oh, main gun destroyed! Oh! There goes the Whirlwind. Wind is kaput.
Attention, Wirbelwind self-propelled anti-aircraft guns are now available.
Martyr dodging that final shot from the AT gun would have been pretty detrimental to that. Starting to recap the right side, I believe that is the munitions medium point. Yep, it is. Plus 10 munitions, going to help out. Wind covering any advances. Although they probably won't be able to deal with that T-17 armored car unless they got some rear armor hits.
Bases under enemy fire.
Otherwise, not so much. Martyr, I just love the look of the Martyr, just how it moves across roads, down slopes, up slopes. It looks so cool. The engine compartment is a bit beat up though, or at least the rear door is, where they climb in. It's now hanging on its hinges, leaving the crew a bit more exposed than they already are. Not much of a problem, I guess. One Panzer Grenadier squad versus Sniper, two BAR teams, an engineer team, and an AT gun. Not going to turn out in their favor.
We are losing territory.
But again, switching to the right side. Good job. And now that he has some more resources, needs to start rebuilding his army as quickly as possible. Although Flag Veerling is now getting demanned by the snipers. So I believe this spells doom for the German player.
The enemy has cut down an infantry unit.
I think he's just throwing everything he has at the front lines, trying to find some way, somehow, of breaking through. Probably not going to happen though. Veterancy 1 for the sniper, Scharfschütze. And manning the flag feeling in the base. Smart, tricky. Although suppressed by the Whirlwind and other flag feeling. And there we go. It is now demanned. Mortar half-track out. Could use some more infantry. I believe that's his biggest problem. Another FallschirmJäger squad would not be a terrible idea. Trying to get some FG-42s on them would also be quite helpful.
Panzer, must defend the enemy's advantage. 100 points.
Oh! Martyr get the finishing shot on that T-17, achieving veterancy. Let's take a look at the Americans. Won that second before they win. I'm sorry to spoil it for you guys, but Seriously, if you just look at the time in the video, she would have noticed already. I believe that was the Martyr. And yes, there's the Persian. Which, despite how being slow it is actually managing to circle strafe the Martyr. One way to counter circle strafing is simply by moving backwards and trying to counter move with it as best as you can. That's one way you can counter it. And I think both tanks blew up in one shot from that. Pershing. Quite interesting. But nonetheless, good sportsmanship by EliteJager. GG at the end of the game. What can be learned from this? Well, we just watched two very good players face off against one another. And to be honest, what really killed them was when the Americans just started capping the right side. They just lost all of that territory. They lost too many men in the engagements on the left, too many half-tracks in the engagements on the left. That really caused a lot of manpower lossage, a lot of attrition issues, so to speak. So that wasn't good either. Basically, that was what really killed him, because then when he didn't have enough men to fend off the Americans, which just sheerly... I mean, it was like a repeat of World War II. They just had more men, more of everything, more resources, more territory, more men, more veterancy. So that was really an issue, and that was really one that just couldn't be overcome at this point. They did try bringing out on the right side, which wasn't a bad idea. It did work for a time, but then that fell apart quite shortly. Pershing came out, finished him off, couldn't do nothing about it. Game over at that point. What can be learned from the Americans? Supply art upgrades can really help in the war on attrition, as we all know how tough Panzer Grenadiers can be to kill for riflemen without BARs, without grenades, without sticky bombs, etc., etc., especially when they're being reinforced by infantry half-tracks. They can be a really pain in the butt. I really like the half-track strategy, but that kind of fell apart when we saw the anti-tank guns come out. When the anti-tank guns came out, the riflemen would kind of form a shield in front of them, preventing any infantry from getting in close, allowing the AT gun to take off a couple quick shots, and they'd kind of move up incrementally. So the rifleman would set up right there, AT gun back here, take off a couple shots, one half-track spirals out of control, rifleman would move up here, or up here, AT gun would move up right there, you know, and over again, this would just happen. The sniper, of course, didn't help either, started just cutting away at their infantry, started cutting away at their bases. They even attempted a bit of a base raid at one point, and then a final base raid with the Pershing at the end really finished them off. Well done. And that's really all I have to say about that. Nice mine placement that can really be a good counter to half-track strategies. Mines, and more mine placement. Just watch out. That was really my only complaint. Just watch your T-17s. Of course, who am I to criticize such a great player as DemolitionJeep? I do forget his actual name that he goes by. It starts with an S, I think. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the game. But just watch your T-17s, especially when you have AT light half-tracks around. That's going to be really... it's really scary just dealing with AT half-tracks. They can pop out at any angle, any flank, and all of a sudden, boom, it's immobilized. And then you're just like fucking, you know, you're like freaking out and shit. So yeah, just watch out for that. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you learned something from these higher level players. I don't know if they're level 20. I don't know if they're level 18. I don't know anything like that. I don't really bother searching them up, but I do recognize their names. And I mean, this guy's called EliteJager for a reason. So, peace.
Enemy unit down.
Point is ours.
Oh, fuck, that almost hit me!
We're losing a munitions point. Casualties being reported.
Under fire! Where'd that come from? Taking fire here! They got gun lock!
Munitions point is ours.
Begin armored
Take
operations.
cover!
Let's kick some ass.
Our front lines are collapsing.
Right in the middle of a goddamn firefight! Rifle squad has contact!
Enemy unit down.
We're in the shit now!
We hold the initiative. This rate will be taking Berlin by Christmas.
Ready for another meeting.
Our forces are taking casualties.
What are my coordinates?